throughout history, human development has reached enormous heights in order to improve and sustain our lives in the future and to provide more utility throughout our days on Earth. But the problem is, with that experimentation comes huge repercussions and drawbacks to every single operation we have actually attempted to perform, notably with power sources and power manipulation to provide more sustainable sources of energy over higher outputs of energy to actual future generations. Let's take, for example, the incident of the nuclear power plant in Chernobyl that occurred on the 26th of April in 1986. Now, this is one of the highest rated severity events in all of history due to a failure, a huge failure, in one of the many nuclear power plants in the Chernobyl area, failing due to its attempt, or due to its attempt to actually up the performance of the nuclear power plant by letting it actually rest between cycles that produce power using backup generators to help cooling, to help with the cooling process and to help cooling the generator. Now, at first, in the first 4 attempts, it was perfectly fine and it went perfectly good. But in the 4th attempt, the delay between the cycles became as large as 4 hours instead of the intended 1.5 minutes, without anyone to monitor it, without anyone monitoring to the process, which actually led to the power levels dropping to near zeros. And then after the power plant turned on again, the actual generators, the main generators, the power surge was so huge it almost vaporized the entire power plant. And at the same time, the radiation leak was so severe and so huge that it sustained huge radiation damage to to further generations to come, not just in the year of it, not just in the hour, but no, the actual generations to come. So now, let's link this to our topic, which is genetic enhancement. Now, germline enhancement is performing deep surgery to the embryo, for example, by using nanoscissors to cut out the unwanted part of the DNA, the unwanted part of the gene that can actually cause troublesome behavior or result in troublesome diseases in the near future, and replace it with fully functional genes that can eliminate all the problems. But the problem is that it also has huge repercussions due to an effect called an off-target effect. Now, due to, or as stated by Dr. Gangbao, a bioengineering PhD degree professor at Rice University in Houston and the director of Nanomedicine Center of Nucleoprotein Machines focusing on genetic editing to treat sickle cell diseases, this off-target effect is defined as the misbehavior due to the actual cuts made by the nanoscissor in the DNA itself that can actually affect other cells in the gene segments, which can change the functions, keeping the cells from, per se, becoming cancerous and thus actually causing cancer in the near future at the cost of treating whatever other disease is, or achieving some form of evolution in the gene that enhances the durability or the resilience to other diseases. So that actually impacts the whole idea in a huge manner. How so? Now, this a huge trait in germline enhancement techniques is that it's actually inheritable to other future generations. Now, let's say that we actually treat some disease and we actually achieve some form of enhancement that would actually help them in the future. But at the same time, we actually resulted in the formation of cancerous cells in their DNA. Now, that means that every single child born in that tree, in that family tree for the near future, is gonna, for sure, for 100%, have those cancerous cells. Now, this actually defeats the whole purpose of the idea that we're gonna have more sustainable benefits and eliminate a lot of diseases and cutting, per se, the costs of treating some horrible disease or a scary disease, as mentioned by the government. At what cost? At just reaching a better enhancement? No, I mean, I don't think that is the way to go about it. Now,
Permission?
okay. Another point is that this form of enhancement is ethically questionable. Why would you ask? It is because it alters the view and value of human life. Now, the human life in its essence is random. Everything around us actually tends to randomness. Now, introducing the topic of entropy in thermal engineering, this aspect actually states that every single form of energy that cannot be created nor destroyed tends to be more random, which is having less entropy over time. Now, reducing the randomness of human babies born having specific traits because of tailoring it to its parents' needs or parents' wants, as stated by the government, because it is going to be controlled by the child's parents before he's even born to see the light. This would actually defeat the entire purpose of the human life and its value, because it's gonna diminish the value of having a precious baby being born into this world at the cost of just enhancing him, which will actually, as stated by my government opposition leader, that it's gonna have side effects on his mental well-being in the future due to conflicting thoughts in his mind. So that's why this House